Hello everyone, welcome back to this lecture. I hope you are well and good. In previous lecture, I explained the threads of machine learning in depth with real life examples. So this lecture is just a recap as well as key difference between the three types of machine learning, that is supervised, unsupervised and reinforcement learning. So let's start the learning the key difference between the different types of machine learning. So first point is that in supervised machine learning, it learns from the labeled data set. That is the primary key difference when I compared with other types of machine learning. It has a labeled data set. It means having a data set in the format of input output pair, having a question answer pair. In unsupervised machine learning, we have only unlabeled data set. In this data set, we only have a features. We don't have any target variable. And in reinforcement learning, we learn from environment as well as through experience and getting a corresponding rewards as well as penalties. So that is the key difference when I compare with the supervised and unsupervised and other reinforcement learning. Having a data set in the format of labeled, having a XY format, and in unsupervised machine learning, having a data set in the format of only features, not having a output variable. Please keep this in mind. And in reinforcement learning, it interact with the environment and learning and receive the rewards and or penalties. Okay. In supervised machine learning, it predict the outcome. If outcome is a if target variable is a discrete, so we say this is a classification problem. If it is a continuous value, that is infinite value, that is a regression. For example, if you are building a machine learning model where your task is to predict the house price based on the certain feature, so you are solving a problem of regression. If I talk about classification, you have given a number of images of dog and cat, and your task is to classify the image based on the image feature. So that is a discrete as well as a classification problem. If I talk about the unsupervised machine learning, it discovers the pattern and structure that is present in the data set that have only features without label. Here in reinforcement learning, they are trying to optimizing and maximizing the rewards and taking a optimal action and minimizing the punishment or penalties. Okay. And fourth point is model are trained with the correct answers. We have a input output pair in supervised machine learning. We have a x as well as y. We know the what should be the output of the corresponding input. But in case of unsupervised machine learning, we don't have a output. We have only features having a x only. So model try to uncover and understand the relationship as well as structure present in the data set. In reinforcement learning, agents try to learn by interacting with the environment, and they learn through trial and error method by to maximize the rewards and minimizing the punishment or penalties. In supervised machine learning, it requires label data I discussed no earlier, and it does not require a no, label data. When I discuss the unsupervised machine learning. In reinforcement learning, also there is no requirement of label. It is a label independent data set and learn from the experience. That is the key point when we talk to the reinforcement learning. In supervised machine learning, output may be a continuous as well as discrete. No, if I same example I use here, if his problem of predicting the house price, so your variable output variable or target variable is a continuous. And if problem of classification, so you get a discrete output like it is a cat or dog, like that. In unsupervised machine learning, there is a cluster are formed and latent structure are formed. In reinforcement learning, what happen? Actions leads to a rewards and penalties. In reinforcement learning, we are trying to maximizing the rewards and minimizing the penalties. If I talk about the what are the algorithm for a machine learning, so in case of supervised machine learning, there is a linear regression we use and decision tree. In linear regression, we have a linear data. We capture the underlying pattern present in the data set through a straight line, and we are trying to use this model for a our task that is used for a regression task. Loss regression used for a classification task. Decision tree is also used for both classification as well as regression tasks. If I talk about the unsupervised machine learning, here K-means is a clustering based algorithm. DB-scan also a clustering based algorithm. Principal component analysis, it is a unsupervised machine learning algorithm which is used for dimensionality reduction to keep only features which are important and eliminating the large number of features. And in case reinforcement learning, there is a Q-learning and deep Q network. If I talk about the example for each type of learning, for a supervised learning, there is a email spam classification. Given email is a spam or not, and second is a house price prediction. We are trying to predicting the house price based on the number of bedroom, area, and location. If I talk about the unsupervised machine learning, grouping the customer by shopping behavior. And in a reinforcement learning, there is a DeepMind AlphaGo that is defeated the human champion in a Go game. That is how reinforcement learning are leveraging in a game sector where they improve through trial and error and from experience to maximize the reward and minimizing the penalty or punishment. So this is the key difference between the three types of learning. We see, I zoom out. So this is the key difference when I talk about the okay. I think it worked now. Yeah. So this is the key difference between the supervised and unsupervised and reinforcement learning. There are three methods when we talk to machine try to learn. So we have a labeled data set. So we are talking about supervised machine learning. If we don't have a labeled data set, we have an unlabeled data set. So we talk about the unsupervised machine learning. If we have a we are agent trying to learn through the experience and trial and error and interact with the environment and try to maximizing the reward and minimize the penalty. So it is a reinforcement learning. So thank you so much. If you have any query, please leave this query in a comment section. And in next lecture, I will explain the types of data that is used in machine learning and feeding to build a large scalable machine model. First, understand the what are different types of data. And thank you so much. See you in next lecture.